All right, we're live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris, coach of the Hannibal Hoothoots in the FPL, the Fun Pokemon League. And this is the post-game recap of Game 3 against Mike and the Pittsburgh Pentguins. Now, both Mike and I went into this game 1-1, and I believe I had a little bit higher differential. I was at a +2, I believe, heading into this game. I could be wrong. You'll see in the title when I go there later. What exactly I was at. And he has a weird team because I feel like it's really top heavy with some super strong physical attackers, and then it kind of falls off. You can see our teams here with mine on the left and his on the right. I was terrified in this game of Mega Gyarados, and I probably over-prepped for it. Haxorus was a huge offensive option that I was afraid of. I'll always have to be careful of Dragon Dance sets, etc. Necrozma is always something to worry about. You can't really game plan easily for Necrozma other than having something that resists Psychic Stab. He does have both the Scyther and Scizor. He's gotten some flack about it. I don't really mind because they're two different Pokemon that do drastically different things. But both are threats. They both have the priority moves that they can use. Superior is always something to look out for. I had a lot of things on my team to combat Superior. The fact that it gets that Leaf Storm and Contrary boost is massive, so I had to watch out for it. Tentacruel, it wasn't really a big deal because I had so many physical threats on my team. But Tentacruel was an option. Typhlosion, again, not a huge threat. It could have been if it was like a Specs or even a Scarf with Eruption, but I did have my Araquanid that counters it pretty easily. So, here are the teams. Looking at this, I expect him to bring probably Donphan as like a defensive rapid spinner, possibly even Assault Vest. Mega Gyarados, I think he'll bring Haxorus. I expected Necrozma, I expected Scizor, and then I expected one of either Superior or Tentacruel. And I game planned a little bit more towards Superior. So those are the 6 that I thought he brought, and I brought this team against him. I brought an Assault Vest Tornadus that did really well against a lot of the things that he had in this matchup, including special Necrozma. It did well against, let's look back here. It did well against Superior, in case that was I think that was the main reason that I really brought Tornadus Therians. It did very well against Superior. Did fine against Tentacruel and was able to get damage on that and use knockoff mechanics. I did give it some attack so that knockoff and U-turn hurt. Obviously, just so that I could outspeed everything with not 192. 192 was fast enough to outspeed Timid Superior. I did bring the Rocky Helmet Steelix. This is specifically meant for Scizor and for Scyther, because the Rocky Helmet will do so much damage to him. Also, it does make Gyarados' job a little harder. Yeah, Gyarados can do well after Dragon Dance against Steelix, but it does have to take the Rocky Helmet damage, and it's also the rocker on the team as well. Also, Steelix does deal with Aromatisse pretty well, his fairy type and his only Wish passing mon on the team, so I like Steelix for that because Wish Pass normally means Protect, and Protect means Stealth Rocks, so it works really well there. I did bring the tanky Rotom Mow, with just it was tanky-ish because it had that 252 HP, but I did max special attack it with the Volt Switch U-turn, or Volt Switch, Leaf Storm, Defog, and Will-O-Wisp. Defog to keep things off of my side, as I expected him to possibly prioritize getting up rocks to make Araquanid's job tougher, to make Tornadus' job tougher, and then Will-O-Wisp is for his many offensive threats. Donphan, Gyarados, Haxorus, Hitmonchan I don't really call a threat, but Scizor for sure. All of those things hate to be burnt, and so I kept it on there for that, as well as Necrozma. Necrozma doesn't like being burnt either. I brought Jirachi this week with a weird set. This is a specially defensive set. I have been bringing these specially defensive Jirachis. I'm not really sure why. I really enjoy what it does. I brought this specifically as a Tentacruel counter. It has Wish, Doom Desire, Toxic, Fire Punch obviously for Scizor. Jirachi does well against Scizor in general, other than the knockoff. That's why I brought a Culver Berry on this guy. I did the Wish just to keep things healthy, keep it healthy. Toxic for spreading status around where Jirachi couldn't with Will-O-Wisp. And then I really like the Doom Desire. I had that last set, or that last move there, and I could have gone protect. I could have gone. Oh, there's a number of things I could have gone. A U-turn was an option. I could have just gone an Iron Head to help deal with Aromatisse, but I decided let's go with the Doom Desire, because Doom Desire, Jirachi forces a lot of switches, and Doom Desire is a really great move to pick up some momentum. So for those that you don't know, Doom Desire is like Future Sight, where it hits 3 turns in the future against whatever mon happens to be in at the time, but it's a little bit stronger than Future Sight. It's Jirachi's, it's a Jirachi signature move. So I thought I'd use it. Thought it'd be fun this battle, and we'll see if it puts in work. I did bring the Araquanid for this. Again, Typhlosion is a threat, and I wanted to break Typhlosion. I did bring the Leech Life, Liquidation, Toxic, and Iron Defense. I used Iron Defense because I saw that this thing could be really, really strong late game if it was able to stand up to things like Gyarados, things like Haxorus and Scizor. And if I was able to force a switch out into any of those to deal with Araquanid, I get up an Iron Defense, and Iron Defense would be really powerful against my opponents. So I did go with that set on Araquanid, just the splash play for the most damage I could on Liquidation. And finally, we brought pretty standard Mega Heracross, but this does not have any attack. It does have Adamant Nature, because Adamant Nature was what I needed to take out things like Tentacruel with the Earthquake, to ensure, even against tanky Mega Gyarados, that Pin Missile does get the kill. Then I put most of it into defense, as defense was nice against Mega Gyarados. Really, really afraid of that mon. So yeah, that's the team. I'm really happy with what I brought, and let's get into the replay here. So as you see from the replay, not even close to what I thought he would bring. He did bring the Tentacruel. I kind of thought he would do that. I definitely thought he would bring the Necrozma. That was for sure. The rest, not so much. Maybe Donphan, but really weird. No Mega Gyarados, no Haxorus, no Scizor. So boosting on this squad has to come from something like a Swords Dance Scyther, which could happen. Maybe a Power-Up Punch Hitmonchan. Necrozma does have Swords Dance, does have Calm Mind, does have... It has all the things to boost as well. And then Donphan could also run like a Choice Band set or something like that. So, yeah, really threatening team. I'm seeing this, and I see that Rotom Mow has a really great matchup in this, because it's Donphan is his only ground type, so it gets free Leaf Storm off all the time. And other than that, it can just kind of Will-O-Wisp things. It can Volt Switch. It can create momentum. So I really liked Rotom, and decided to lead off with it. He does decide to lead off with his Donphan. Interesting school of thought here. I have my Rotom in against Donphan. I know Donphan gets sturdy, and so I know no matter what, I need to break this thing sturdy if I'm going to kill it. I'm doing my calcs, and I'm seeing if it's not an Assault Vested Donphan, my Leaf Storm's going to kill it. I'm max special attack Rotom. But it's not going to kill it because it has the sturdy. So I'm thinking, why not make the safer play? I'll be faster than Donphan. If he has something like a Rock Slide or something that'll do damage, then let's burn it. If he switches out to Tentacruel expecting the Leaf Storm, then at least that's a burn on Tentacruel, and that nullifies its leftovers should it have it. So I do go for the Will-O-Wisp here. I thankfully connect on the Donphan, and I say thankfully because I didn't know that Donphan gets Gunk Shot. Wow, big turn. We do get the burn off, and we get the HP lowered, so it's no longer sturdy. But wow, if I didn't get that burn off, Rotom was dead. Gunk Shot did 52%, and burn halves all physical attacks. I was not expecting that. I'm really, really happy that turn worked the way it did, because had I went for the Leaf Storm there, gotten Donphan down to 1%, and then he hit the Gunk Shot there, my Rotom was dead. And that would have been a huge momentum-shifting turn. So I was really happy with how that turned out. He does manage to poison my Rotom, which means it is on a timer now. He brings out the Aromatisse, and I take this opportunity to just go ahead and go for the Leaf Storm. He was low, so I decided to go ahead and pull it. Aromatisse takes nothing. This tells me it's a max specialty defensive Aromatisse, which gives me a free Jirachi here. I have Jirachi out here, and I decided to pull the trigger on that Doom Desire. We said I was going to go for it earlier, and said there's nothing else that I really want to do against Aromatisse. Might as well try it. So I tried it, and now Doom Desire's out there, and it's going to hit something eventually. Um, Donphan does take the Wish, but it doesn't really matter because Burn happens after Wish. He's probably going to go for the Earthquake here, so I do go for my Heracross, and he reveals the Rock Polish. Really cool set, and if my Heracross wasn't on this team, and he wasn't burnt, this could have, like, really hurt me. But he is burnt, and my Mega Heracross, as we showed in Team Builder, is a defensive Mega Heracross. So, keeping all that in mind, I do decide to Mega Evolve Heracross. It takes absolutely nothing from Head Smash. That's nothing. And I go ahead and go for the substitute because I see that nothing is going to break my substitute. And then I had forgotten about it. You had probably forgotten about it. Jirachi's Doom Desire comes in, does 74%, and kills after burn. I'm feeling awesome now. So yeah, that kill goes to the Rotom for the burn, and I currently have a huge Mega Heracross behind a substitute. I'm feeling great. He brings in his Tentacruel, my friend that is not a counter. When I was looking at this, I'm thinking Scald doesn't break my sub. I wasn't thinking that any poison move broke my sub. I was thinking I was good to go, and then he reveals the Tentacruel with the Dazzling Gleam. I did not know the Tentacruel got Dazzling Gleam. It does break my sub, thank goodness for him, because Heracross was looking deathly threatening there, and I do the Earthquake there. We said before the game I gave Heracross enough attack by making it adamant in order specifically to knock out Tentacruel with an Earthquake. That was deliberate. He brings out his Necrozma, and I probably make a little bit of a misplay here. I'm looking at my options. I'm thinking about what I need to do. Heracross still has a little bit of a role here, as it just counters Hitmonchan entirely. It can stop certain variations of Scyther that don't have Aerial Ace, or it could get up a sub against Aromatisse, or there's a lot of things that Heracross could have done here. Instead, I decide to sack it, which I like to take that play back, but it's not a huge deal, as because I do that, I get to bring in my my Tornadus here. So really happy with that, even though my Heracross that put in so much work is dead. I get Tornadus in, and I just get to click Hurricane or any move that I want to that I think is going to get me some momentum here. So he brings in the Aromatisse. I go for the knockoff, thinking I just want to get rid of something's item. I do get rid of Aromatisse's leftovers here, which will help me wear it down. I U-turn out, knowing that this is going to take some hits because it is a defense, or especially defensive Aromatisse. U-turn did 9%, which is nice. It's not going to heal that back. Go out into Steelix, and they just throw off a Wish. I said in pregame, wishes mean protect, and he protected, and I predicted that and went for the rocks there. And the rocks will be really nice in the game where Scyther is still there, where I'm trying to get Necrozma to not do anything and wear it down. Now we have Big Steelix out against Aromatisse. I could just go for the Heavy Slam here. He brings in Hitmonchan. I go for the Earthquake. I predicted the Necrozma there, and Heavy Slam didn't do anything to Necrozma. And so the Earthquake was probably the better play every time. So that's why I did go for it there. And it does so much to Hitmonchan. Easy two-hit KO. It's going to be able to do Drain Punch here and get some of that health back, but not enough because of my Rocky Helmet. Earthquake is going to finish off Hitmonchan. I'm feeling really good. 3-5 lead. He brings in Necrozma here. I don't know anything about this Necrozma other than that Photon Geyser, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. I go into my Tornadus just to kind of gauge what this thing is. 50%. Ooh, super awkward, right? Because then another one would probably kill me, and I don't want that. So I'm starting to flounder a little bit here. I still have some options. I have some sacks that I have on the field. So I'm going to go back into Jirachi. I figure that just with the Photon Geyser, it's not going to do anything. Reveals the Rock Polish. I'm not huge into that. I do miss my Toxic there on Necrozma, which could end up biting me in the butt later, because now we have a really fast Necrozma in front of me that is not poisoned, which stinks. He goes for another Earth Power, and I am able to get the Toxic off on the following turn. I switch back out in Tornadus, expecting another Earth Power. I do that correctly. Figure I'm just going to go for knockoff here. He does use the Power Gem, which hurts a lot. I do get the knockoff. He's Culberberry, which is nice to know, but takes some health. And then I go out into Steelix and take this Photon Geyser, which in the long run, excuse me, sorry about that. In the long run, I wish I hadn't done that, because I think Steelix still played a gigantic role in this game, and I could have gone for something like Jirachi there. Jirachi really didn't have a use in the game other than being good against Aromatisse at this point. And now letting my Steelix get chunked down like this wasn't really a smart idea. And again, I make that second mistake again and just let Steelix die, which again was dumb, and Necrozma goes down with it. So that was dumb of me. And he goes into Scyther, and this is where the game turns on its head. I consider myself a pretty good Pokemon player, but at this moment, I made probably the worst mistake I ever made in Pokemon. So we're sitting at this stage right here, Scyther versus Jirachi. And I'm thinking, okay, I've won this game. I see that Aromatisse is going to come in and it's going to die to Hurricane or whatever, and it's definitely not going to kill Araquanid. So I'm thinking differential here. How can I not lose differential? And I make the dumbest play in America. What I should have done was just stayed in, clicked Doom Desire, clicked Toxic, I don't care, Fire Punch. I could have clicked absolutely anything here. It wouldn't have mattered. Scyther would have outsped and killed, but then I bring in my Tornadus, and then I'm able to do something with that. Instead, I do a calc, and I was thinking, how can Scyther kill me? And for some reason, the Choice Band set did not cross my mind. I didn't even think about it. We're going to go ahead and play it now. I do go into the Tornadus theory, and I die to a Choice Banded Aerial Ace. And you see the chat here. I think you just threw. Crap, I did, I say. Yeah, I threw hard. Because now, looking at the rest of the squad, knowing this is a Choice Banded Scyther, because that's the only thing that killed that Tornadus, I'm dying every time with my Araquanid, with my Rotom, and with my Jirachi to a Banded Aerial Ace. And I'm just going to let this play through. It's going to hurt. Araquanid goes down. Rotom is outsped, goes down. And finally, the Jirachi is going to go down. And that's GG to my opponent. Yeah, really, really, really tough way to lose a game that I thought I controlled the entire way through. While there were minor misplays, I brought the better team, I played the better game, and I decided to go for differential, and I lost. And it's something to learn from. I'll not do that again. I'll never forget about Choice Banded Scyther again. But it was rough, so now we drop to 1-2 on the season. We do play Hexcat this week in the Sin City Spiritombs. We'll be looking for that game. I've actually already played it. We'll be uploading that within the next couple of days, and I'll be playing my next VSL opponent for Week 5 after that, so we'll try and get updated on uploads here. But GG to Mike. He played a really good game, even though I think I should have had that 3-0 win. It ends up being a 2-0 win for him because of my idiotic mistake. But it's all right. You pick yourself up, and we'll live to play another game. So thanks for tuning in, and be looking out for that next video against the Sin City Spiritombs coming up in the next couple of days. Until then, see you later.